So how do we learn a language best? By listening, imitating, asking questions, and above all, immediately and consistently using what we've learned. Musicians must learn strong listening discipline, just like those who learn any language. That is, what distinguishes someone who learns the musical language and someone who simply loves or appreciates music is very much like the difference between someone who eats and likes good food and someone who is a cook or chef and masters the techniques of cooking it.
We're here at the Culinary Arts Department here at Washtenaw Community College in Ann Arbor, Michigan, USA. We're here to interview one of our faculty members, Chef Derek Anders Jr.
Well, hello there.
And we're here to talk about how he increased his culinary vocabulary since he started, in the profession. All right. So Derek, how did your eating habits and sensitivities change as far as taste when you got involved or interested in the culinary arts?
Well, we know food is good. We know food is good. Believe it or not, though, I was actually a picky eater when I was little. But as I grown and wanted to become groomed as a part of this industry, one of the things I realized is that I had to go beyond my comfort zone in order to try different foods for the familiarity piece, and also what ways to combine foods that makes them, incredible for people to enjoy. So, something as simple as a salad. I revolted against my mother when I was little. However, nowadays, vinaigrettes are one of my favorite things. I didn't like mayonnaise, but I kind of enjoy mayonnaise now, especially if I'm prepared it by, scratch. So becoming more familiar with the foods in a way that, something as simple as going to your pantry, picking up a spice, smelling it, tasting it. Those things are important in order to really develop a repertoire and a memory bank, if you will, of flavors, things of that nature.
Okay. Great. Okay. So what would be the difference between a culinary arts professional and someone who just cooks to eat?
Well, I think if I can start with the similarity, the goal is to be able to cook food for others to enjoy. And that's really my ultimate goal, no matter if I'm cooking at home for family or if I'm cooking for folks in industry. But one of the major differences is really working hard to develop your craft and sensibilities. What I mean by that is simply just taking more time to understand flavor profiles, do your study, do your homework, take a look at different kinds of cuisines across the world. That's something that we really do here in America. And there's really one piece I like to kind of touch upon is the concept of subjective evaluation and objective evaluation. In other words, something that makes sense to me and is delicious, it might go well at home. But when we're starting to think about feeding people in mass numbers, the idea is to be able to rely upon other taste buds so you can get more of a well-rounded evaluation and opinion about the food so that it makes sense for your clientele.
Yeah. All right. So Derek, we want to put you on the spot, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Yeah, we want to blindfold you and see if you can pick out some of the ingredients.
Let's do it.
You work with on a daily basis.
Let's do this.
All right.
See what we can come up with.
Derek, we have a particular condiment, food item that you use all the time. We have everywhere, restaurants, everything else. I'm going to give you a spoonful of it.
All right.
And you tell us what it is.
So you want me to let you know what the major ingredients are?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So.
Hand here.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. Okay, cool.
There we go.
Let's see. First things first is, before I indulge, right, I do want to smell it. Because part of the tasting process for a professional is to really recognize that it is really the sense of aroma that's going to give me a lot of information, more so than my tongue, believe it or not.
Okay, interesting.
I can already smell a good amount of tomato, some onion, perhaps a bit of garlic.
Okay.
I guess it's some form of tomato sauce, perhaps salsa, because it smells nice and fresh. It doesn't smell like the tomatoes are cooked like a canned tomato or stewed tomato. So let me go ahead and give it a shot. Indeed. Oh, that is totally tomato salsa. And I can dictate to you what the ingredients are. Definitely tomatoes, I definitely get that. Good amount of garlic that has built up a little bit over time during the process of tasting, because believe it or not, I am still tasting. I get a little bit of spice in the back of the throat.
Okay.
There must be some type of chili. I want to give the guess that it's perhaps jalapenos, knowing jalapenos, the flavor, they're nice and fruity, but they don't necessarily knock you out with a good amount of spice per se. Ooh, definitely get some onion in there. Some cilantro. Can I get another taste of it too? Just
Sure.
double check I got everything in there. Think. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. Because I taste something sweet at the end here.
I put some Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity Pebbles. You can't fool me. Definitely not Fruity Pebbles. So I get something that's a bit sweet and earthy, but also charred too. A little bit of smokiness. I want to guess, because of the texture, that we're dealing with corn here. So I want to definitely say this final thing here is a roasted corn tomato salsa.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, Chef Derek.
Oh yes.
We have the last two here. We're going to have you taste back to back here.
All right.
And you, it's the same type of condiment, but they're each missing something.
All right.
All right.
Awesome. Okay, so
Just one there.
that's one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just some water there.
Thank you. This is important. This is good to clear the palate every time.
All right.
What do we have next?
Okay.
Thank you. Ooh. Okay. That one's totally different.
Okay, so what were the ingredients in 3 and 4?
Okay. Now, what was the ingredients in the last two?
Okay.
3 and 4.
So for the last two, the first one out of the last two I tried, it tastes like a normal tomato salsa. I got a different textural component in there. I'm pretty familiar with some of the tropical ingredients that are normally found in different variations of salsa. So I'm going to make an estimation that was jicama. Jicama is nice because I've used it in different types of dishes I've come up with before. It's nice and crisp, really light, and so it doesn't really impact the balance of flavors, which is important. So the next one was really interesting because something stood out. It was an ingredient that I've never really experienced or would think to experience in salsa before.
Okay.
It definitely had this reaction in the mouth, the volatile compounds that came from this ingredient, where it made it even more intense in terms of spicy. I want to guess that that's some sort of radish, because radish tends to do that. But in particular, I'm familiar with this particular product as well. It's like a prepared horseradish, where it's used a lot of time in British cuisine and things of that nature. But I kind of felt that in the salsa, which is kind of weird, to be honest.
Okay. All right. And now we'll just take off the blindfold here. All this will be sped up. And sure enough,
Well,
these were the ingredients, ladies and gentlemen. He nailed them all. This was a roasted corn salsa. This was a salsa minus the cilantro, just exactly as you said. This was a salsa with jicama.
Jicama, yeah. Nice pieces.
Yeah, nice pieces there. You nailed that. And this one we actually did, in fact, put horseradish in. So you nailed them. So you nailed them exactly. And so the same has to be true for musicians. It's not enough to say, dude, I like the beat, or this music is good for relaxing. That is, here's a beat. You like it? Here, let me do 2. There's nothing to like about that. We have to understand what we mean by beat and what we mean by music. 9 times out of 10, the music we may be relaxing to was designed by musicians with another mission or far more intensive purpose in mind. Or it was designed to relax, and there's something specifically in the melody, the rhythm, the instrumentation, the harmony or dynamics of that piece that made it this way. A musician must know if they'd like to play it or create it themselves. Again, it's the role of the musician to listen with an intensity proportionate to our musical goals and aspirations. So let's begin with taking musical notes, or making a sonograph. The first step in musical transcription, or understanding musical recipes, is to make a roadmap of the piece. We'll do more of this in the next video. We'll listen for form and structure. The instrumentation, how instruments come in and go out, and what combinations they sound best for each style of music. We'll pay attention to the beat, try to identify the meter or how beats are grouped, and what makes the rhythm unique or special in every piece. We'll practice counting measures in each section of music, making a graph of sections, entry and exit of musical instruments, and the number of measures per section gives us a map of the musical piece. And we'll learn to hear and label repeats DSL coda, go to the sign, repeat until you see the coda symbol and go to the coda again. DSL fine, go to the sign, repeat large chunks of music, and a variety of other signs and symbols which tell us how to play or how to go ahead and structure the piece. And later we'll learn to hear keys, chords, and chord progressions so that we can fill in the map we created with our first listens. In short, we'll practice listening analytically and applying terms the same way we might learn another language or become a chef.